So how is it like being homeless in Portland?
It's a piece of cake, really. I mean, that's why you probably got so many out here. It's the only actually state that lets you put a tent. I'm from Miami, and you can't put a tent on a sidewalk down there. It's ridiculous. Here, you don't have any police. There's no police around. You get hurt, you're screwed because they're not helping anybody.
My name is Jason Mitchell, and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have a large family, 11 siblings. Wendy is the oldest. At some point, she started taking pharmaceutical drugs, and I don't know which ones. But then from there, I think that led to an opioid addiction. And then she relocated to Seattle. She had lived there before, but she moved back to Seattle. She knew she got a job. She was working there. She lost that job through the addiction, sort of, had her lose her job. I think it was right around 2015. That is when she sort of went to the streets, and she's been on the streets since then. From time to time, she'll be interviewed by, some business or some charity organization, and they might post something. So we all monitor social media. And so we have spoken with her, but I think the last time someone actually spoke with her was maybe 3 years ago. You have a very special bond with your siblings, and you feel you want to help them, you want to protect them. And then to have this addiction, you go through these series of emotions like, well, it's your fault. You got to help yourself. Then at some point you very quickly realize like, oh, this is like out of her personal control. This is like an addiction is really hard for someone to like personally get off. Okay, so now let me try to help. And then you might try to help, and because of the situation they're in, maybe they steal from you, or they have to resort to certain kind of practices and behaviors to sustain that sort of lifestyle. And then you might like have anger about it, like, oh, I was offended. I'm offended. So, you're on your own. I don't want to help anymore. But you kind of move past it and you're like, listen, she can't control it. And she's had to learn some behaviors to adapt. But you know that you don't want to lose hope. They can't lose hope. So you want to provide hope. You want to provide motivation. And so that's why you're monitoring those things, because you care about that person. You would like to help. Sometimes you feel I'm sure she feels helpless. Sometimes I feel helpless. I don't know how to help her. A gentleman by the name of Kevin Dahlgren works for the homeless services in one of the cities around Portland. So he knows a lot of the homeless, and he found Wendy, and he'll sometimes interview them and post on Twitter. And so he found Wendy, and he posted on Twitter.
How you doing? Hey. Oh,
Hey.
Jason, it's Jason.
Oh, Jason, I love you. Hey, you've been getting real famous on TV, right? You know that, right?
Jill. It's Jill. Hey, Wendy.
Hey.
Love you.
Hey,
How you doing?
You thought I was being crazy yelling at you?
Hey, it's David. Everybody else, David. Hi, David. Oh, my God.
Estrangement is extremely common. Almost every homeless person I meet, they will say, my parents don't talk to me anymore. My brothers and my sisters hate me, right? That's very common. What's so amazing about this family is that they were just so happy to hear that she was alive and just let go anything they were feeling about her and says, like, we just want to help you. And so I guess what I'm hoping for is maybe this will inspire other families to reconnect with your friends and loved ones on the streets, because hope is so important. It doesn't mean you have to house them, but hope is so important. People need to know that they are loved. That is a very important piece. And once Wendy realized I am loved, everything came into place.
One of the first things she said is, I want to go home. I want off the streets. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. She had never said that before. We were talking about it, and we don't believe that she's ever spoken like that. So she And you can see, living on the streets is tough, and it's cold, and it wears out your skin. And, so she looks like she's aged. And, she was just kind of saying, this has been hard. I don't want to do this anymore. I need to get off the streets. I'm willing to do, rehab, whatever it takes. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
So we can go.
We can wait no more before you come on.
I haven't seen her in 8 years.
Oh, really? All right.
It's time to get off the street, girl. Come on, let's go.
My sister has an RV, so they drove an RV out there. They found her quickly, and the stars aligned for us a little bit. And we took her straight from the RV, straight into the detox and checked her in. And they were fantastic. They sort of know exactly what to do. So we're on, day 3 or so of her being in a detox facility. It's a 30-day.
I'm just so very proud of Wendy, and we all are really rooting for her. Once we did the video, it's not like I just cut her off. I stayed in very regular contact with her. And once that trust was built, we communicate with family got involved, and the rest is history. So I'm hoping and hopeful that this story will inspire cities and counties and legislators to funnel more money towards actual outreach efforts, because that is the secret to ending this crisis.
And it's getting hard. I mean, she's, saying things like, I don't know if I can do this. I think I want to go back home to Portland. And so now she's calling Portland home. And so no, stay through this, Wendy. Let's get through this, So it's crucial the next, 27 days. And we're just, we're hoping